Today, India has not only avenged the Pahalgam massacre, it has avenged a history of terror. For decades, India has endured the brunt of cross-border terrorism from Pakistan. From the bloodshed of 26/11 to the carnage in Pulwama and the horror in Pahalgam. The masterminds behind these horrors operated with impunity, shielded and empowered by the Pakistani state. Today, that changed. In its most expansive and technologically advanced anti-terror mission to date, Indian armed forces launched 24 missile strikes on 9 key terror sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. This was not just retaliation for the recent Pahalgam terror attack. This was a message. India will no longer strike at the fringes. The architects of terror are now the targets. Here's what we mean. You see, this is not the first time India has responded to terror with force. After the Uri attack in 2016, India carried out its first surgical strike, targeting terror launch pads in Pakistan. Following the Pulwama attack in 2019, India hit terror training camps in Balakot. This time, India has struck the terrorist headquarters. Operation Sindoor was different in both strategy and scale. For the first time, India directly targeted terror headquarters. Operation Sindoor was expansive, precise, deeply symbolic. Key targets included infrastructure belonging to Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, the two groups responsible for the most devastating attacks on Indian soil over the past 30 years. Several of the targeted camps were identified as launching grounds for recent infiltration attempts along the line of control. Among the key targets was Bahawalpur, the nerve center of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, led by Masood Azhar, the same man behind the 2001 Indian Parliament attack, the 2016 Pathankot attack, and most recently, the 2019 Pulwama attack. In a statement, Azhar claimed that 10 members of his family and 4 close aides have been killed in the strike on Jamia Masjid Subhan Allah that was identified as Jaish's headquarters in Bahawalpur. The next key target was Muridke, the home of Hafiz Saeed, mastermind of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. Muridke houses the Markaz-e-Taiba, Lashkar-e-Taiba's ideological and operational headquarters, camouflaged under the guise of charity organization called Jamaat-ud-Dawa. Spread over 200 acres, it is considered one of the largest terror facilities in the world. It has served as the training ground for Ajmal Kasab and others involved in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. Although banned and grey-listed by the FATF, it has continued operating with support from Pakistan's establishment. Today, it was hit. These strikes were not just retribution, they represent a new doctrine. India aimed not merely to respond, but to degrade, dismantle the logistical ecosystem of terror on Pakistani soil. According to reports, clear intelligence linked the Pakistan Army's logistical support to the functioning of these terror outfits. And Operation Sindoor, well, it just exposed Pakistan's complicity and disrupted this deeply entrenched nexus between Pakistan military and terrorism. But it's important to remember here, India's strikes were surgical, not escalatory. Every missile hit its designated target, and the entire operation was wrapped up in 25 minutes. These are the details that matter. By making a clear distinction between counter-terrorism and full-scale military aggression, the Indian Armed Forces have demonstrated both strategic intent as well as operational maturity. The message is absolutely clear. India is rewriting the rules, and in doing so, it has avenged not just the attack, but a history of terror. And I earlier spoke to Lieutenant General D.S. Hooda, former Northern Army commander, someone who spearheaded the 2016 surgical strike across the LOC, and this is what he shared with us.
I think this is much larger in scale and scope than we have seen both in 2016 and 2019. By hitting targets particularly aimed at terrorist leadership, the Jaish, in Muridke and the Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur. I think the message that is going out is that, look, it's not only the sort of foot soldiers that you have that are going to get hit, but also the leadership which is planning these terrorist operations is also going to be hit. And the fact that we have hit in Punjab across the international border. As I said, the fact that we've hit 9 camps, including the headquarters of LET and Jaish. This is a very, very powerful message that major acts of terror will be responded to very, very strongly by. These were large terror infrastructure camps. So the launch pads are smaller, which are closer to the line of control. Yeah. But these were main terrorist camps, and I think you heard also in the briefing this morning that exactly what is the kind of activity that is happening in those terror camps, and how those have served as sort of launch pads for terrorist attacks in India. They've served as training hubs for terrorists. So I think the choice of targets has been based on really sort of critical terrorist infrastructure that exists both in Pakistan occupied Kashmir as well as in mainland Pakistan. From what we know, most of these targets have been hit by missiles from aircraft. And these are standoff long distance missiles, so you don't really have to cross over into Pakistani airspace or territory to carry out these attacks. So remaining on our side of the border, these targets have been struck and taken out. And we can sort of look at and see the accuracy of the target planning, the accuracy of the missiles by pictures that we have seen on how they have pinpointedly struck the targets that they had planned. Particularly after we have received the Rafale aircraft, that along with them we've got missiles which can carry out very, very precise strikes while remaining at a fairly sort of long standoff distance. You don't have to really go on top of the target to hit it. It can be done from distance. As I said, it was done from our side of the line of control and the international border. So these, as I said, are very, very precise weapons, and because they are so precise, it also avoids any kind of collateral damage, minimizes casualties to civilians. So you can just sort of pick out one house, one hut, and say, look, this is where we want to hit, and that's exactly where it goes and hits. So we have these precision systems available with us. What happens next is pretty much up to Pakistan. We have carried out the operation. The Foreign Secretary, in describing the operation today, has said, that we have tried to control escalation. It's a non-escalatory strike. It's targeted only at terror camps. We have not hit any Pakistan military. So from our side, what we wanted to do, what we set out to do, the kind of signal we wanted to send out has been sent. The ball is right now in Pakistan's court. Will they retaliate to what India has done? I think they would. I mean, they would also be under tremendous pressure to do something. And so we could expect a retaliation, whether it comes in 24, 48, 72 hours. Again, would be based on the plan that they make. How then India responds to their retaliation? I mean, these are things that over the coming few days we'll just have to figure out.